Goal90 Shop, your one-stop solution for all your World Cup needs.
From knockout goals to knockout punches, outpacing defenders to setting world records, it could have turned out very differently for some of the world's greatest footballers. These are the 8 footballers who are great at other sports outside football, and first up is Wayne Rooney, showing the world why he's one of the greatest of all time. The man could change matches with both hands and feet. Wayne Rooney. Ever wondered why Wayne Rooney always seemed to have a wild edge around him every time he played? Well, that's because Rooney wasn't scared of anything or anyone. Every game was a battle, and that's because of how he grew up. During his early years, Wayne Rooney wasn't just interested in boxing. There was a chance he would take his love for the sport to a professional level. He'd been training at a pro level in boxing for a couple of years, but as soon as he turned 15, his then boyhood club forced him to make a decision. He had to choose boxing or football, and he chose to score goals instead of landing punches. Seeing that he'd later go on to become a record England all-time goal scorer, guess it's safe to say it worked out for him. Still, Rooney shows his love for the sport by attending big game fights and even MMA matches too. And just like Rooney, another English legend could have made it in a different sport, from being between the sticks to almost swinging one every week. It's Joe Hart. Joe Hart will go down as one of the greatest English goalkeepers of all time. 2 Premier League titles with Manchester City, 4 Premier League Golden Glove Awards, the first choice for England at the 2014 World Cup, but all of this would have never happened if Hart had decided to stick with cricket. Joe Hart had already spent 2 years at Worcestershire's youth squad. He'd even been touted by his former coach Damien de Oliveira to improve his game and maybe one day play for England. At 6'2", he could swing a ball at a reported 85 miles per hour. The early signs were promising, but Hart eventually decided he'd stick to football instead. It paid off. He's a former England pro and a Premier League winner. Cricket was another sport where if he'd put in the work, it might have been a gamble, but with Phil Neville, it was a certainty. He was supposed to be England's next cricket star. Phil Neville. Phil Neville is no stranger to the game. You know his brother Gary. Phil, on the other hand, was just as successful. A Champions League winner with United, multiple Premier League titles, went to play for Everton and even became a coach at both Inter Miami and the English women's national team. But judging from the start, Phil Neville wasn't supposed to play football. Phil Neville was so talented at cricket that he got to captain the England under-15 squad. He also became the youngest player to represent Lancashire's second 11. Phil Neville even played in the same age group as former English cricket legend Andrew Flintoff, and just to show how good Neville was, the 2 split options. Some believed Neville was better than Flintoff, but again, you can't blame Phil for following his brother's path and choosing to play football instead. From being part of the class of '92 at United to winning every trophy he competed for at club level with the Red Devils, it was quite a successful career. He was content with it too. Can't say the same about Rodrigo Palacio, and now, in his case, his passion for another sport was so deep that once he quit football, there was only one option. Rodrigo Palacio was a regular in both Serie A and the Italian national team. It's hard to forget the guy. From cult hero status at Boca Juniors and Genoa to his spell at Inter Milan. That infamous rat-tail haircut. But after retiring from the game in 2022, Palacio decided it was time to chase a sport he'd had a passion for growing up: basketball. He wasn't just content with playing for fun though, he wanted to make it pro, so Palacio signed for 4th Division Italian basketball side Polisportiva Garigano, bagged 4 points on his debut and 14 in his second game, and he's been going strong ever since. As of recording this, he's still at Polisportiva, registered as a point guard even. That's quite the step up, and he's following a passion he'd had from a young age. It's what Zlatan did before, during and even after his career. Only this time, Zlatan's other sport isn't about scoring goals, it's a skilled art of beating opponents. I mean, it kind of makes sense now. Some of the stuff Zlatan pulled off during his playing career was a joke. A bicycle kick from 40 yards, an overhead kick approaching 40, scissor kicks, rapid volleys, leg extensions that made you wonder how he was that flexible. And it all comes down to the fact that Zlatan had been pursuing a different career at the same time he went pro in the game. At 17, Zlatan had already achieved a black belt in Taekwondo. For context, it takes the average individual 2 to 3 years to achieve this, meaning Zlatan was already mastering martial arts from as early as 14. Even with the incredible career he had in football, Zlatan never forgot martial arts. he continued to practice Taekwondo and even got awarded an honorary black belt by the Italian Taekwondo team in 2010. It sort of explains the flexibility too. Zlatan doesn't do trick shots, he's actually learnt those kicks. He won't be the first footballer to become successful in a different sport even after retiring, just like Petr Cech in 2010. Always in goal, this time on a different field. Petr Cech needs no introduction. The word greatest might be more commonly used in football now, but Petr Cech is truly one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. He was the leader of a backline at Chelsea for over a decade that won the Champions League, 4 Premier League titles, 4 Premier League Golden Glove awards, 3 with Chelsea and 1 with Arsenal, the record for the most clean sheets for Chelsea in the Premier League. That 15-goal conceded season in 38 games in 2004/05. The records are endless with Petr Cech, and so after retiring you'd have forgiven him if he decided to take a step back and enjoy the career he'd had over the years, but Cech wanted more, even if it meant he had to switch sports. He turned to ice hockey. He signed for Guildford Phoenix in the National Ice Hockey League Division 2 in 2019 as a goalie, and straight away, Cech made an immediate impact. On his debut, Cech won the Man of the Match award after saving 2 penalties in a shootout victory. He'd later win a treble with Guildford in the 2021/22 ice hockey season before switching to the higher ups, this time joining Chelmsford Chieftains. Didn't matter the sport, one thing is always a constant with Cech, keeping clean sheets and saving goals. Considering that he's also a pretty good drummer, Cech's skill set for trying different things is pretty impressive. Could say the same thing about Ivan Perisic as well. He's as good with his feet and he is with his hands. Perisic has had quite an impressive career, a World Cup runner-up and 3rd place medalist in 2018 and 2022 respectively. A Champions League and Bundesliga treble winner with Bayern Munich, played in the Premier League for Spurs and still going strong with PSV even at 36. But his versatility doesn't just end with the clubs he's played for, it also extends to the sports he's competed in as well. Back in 2017, while he was still at Inter Milan, Perisic made his debut in a professional beach volleyball tournament. He partnered with Croatian professional volleyball player Nikša Delorko to represent Poland at the Porek Majors. They lost, but still, for Perisic it was all about the experience, something he still sees himself doing long term. That would have been the case for Gareth Bale. If he decided to choose another sport he was pretty good at, Gareth Bale. When you think of Gareth Bale, you think of one of the best right-wingers of the modern era. Goals, speed, free kicks. Then he made that then record-breaking move to Real Madrid and together with Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema formed one of the deadliest trios of the modern era. But Bale doesn't play football anymore. Thing is, he should have never played football from the start. And no, the other sport isn't exactly what you think it is. Yeah, Bale's a golf freak now. But when he was growing up, he looked like he was on his way to becoming an athletic star. At 14, he set a time of 11.4 seconds in the 100-meter sprint for his age group. Ridiculous. It adds up too, seeing how fast he was on the pitch, but Bale decided stick to football and then golf after. What a career, and what a guy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button to Goal 90 for more content like this.